We're doing lesson number 5 in the quarterly Daniel, and the title this week is From Pride to Humility. From Pride to Humility. And the second paragraph says, Pride leads to Lucifer's fall, so he now instills pride in men, thus leading them to be against God and so to go down the path toward destruction. We are all fallen human beings dependent upon God for our very existence. Any gifts we have, anything that we accomplish with those gifts, come only from God. I thought about that. First off, we fallen beings are absolutely dependent upon God for our existence. There's no question about it. But is it just the fallen beings that are dependent on God for their existence, or how about the unfallen beings? Are they also dependent on God for their existence? Yes, they are. But we fallen beings need reminding, and I don't believe the unfallen beings need reminding of their dependence upon God. Why would we need reminding? Because we have our minds clouded to the actual reality of how the rest of the universe operates in a dependent love relationship with God. Many don't even believe in God anymore, don't know about God, and or have such distorted views about God that they don't even realize that that their life is dependent on God. Their minds are clouded. They don't understand truth. I don't think that's true for the rest of the unfallen universe. Or pride, selfishness, and survival drives cause them to think that it's all on them to sustain themselves. But what do you think about this sentence? Any gifts we have, anything that we accomplish with those gifts come only from God. How is this true, and how could this statement be misunderstood? Did God give Samson strength? Special, supernatural strength. Then, yes, and the answer is yes. Yes, we all agree yes. Then, was everything Samson accomplished with that strength from God? What's wrong with you people? We just read that any gifts and anything we accomplish with those gifts are from God. Well, if we mean everything Samson did was made possible only because God gave him the strength, and without the strength from God he couldn't have done anything, then in a certain sense, okay, it was made possible through God's empowerments of him. But that is not the same thing as to say that anything he did was actually God acting or from God or God's will. Has God given human beings the gift, you can call it a gift, you can call it an ability, of procreation, creating children in our own image? Has he given us that ability, that gift? Does that mean when a man rapes a woman and she becomes pregnant that it was an act of God? God was accomplishing that. She should turn to God and say, thank you for accomplishing this wonderful work in me.
Many people believe that.
Yes, many people do believe it. I hope my presentation is so effective that you realize that's ridiculous. It is not how God works. My point is that all life and all talent and all gifts and all abilities are given or come from the source of all life and all goodness, God, who is the source of all creation. But that doesn't mean all actions accomplished with those abilities or gifts or talents are acts of God.
Can't all the children, though, if they're allowed to live, be instruments for God?
Sure. Absolutely.
We tend to think of them as being defective in some way, but they're not. Once they are born, God can use them just like anybody else.
So you opened up another question, which was not the question. And you also jumped to a conclusion that the pregnancy is a child.
You what? Okay.
She jumped to the conclusion that the pregnancy is a child.
You want to go down this road?
Well, has anybody heard of a molar pregnancy?
Of course.
A molar pregnancy?
Yeah, how rare are they?
But that's a pregnancy, and it's not a child. It's an assumption that every pregnancy is a child. If you don't know what a molar pregnancy is, before you email me about it, just look it up on the internet. You'll be educated. Okay? Okay, it's an assumption. Okay, and I part of what I do is challenge assumptions.
You're always thinking outside the box is what it is.
Yes, who wants their brain tied inside a box? We want to free your brain. So the point being here is that God gives abilities, gifts, talents, but under the laws upon which he governs the universe, one of those being the law of liberty. And so when we receive a gift from God, we have the liberty to exercise that ability or gift in harmony with God's wills, plans, purposes, or out of harmony with God's wills, plans, or purposes. That is not an act or a will or a purpose of God that somebody should abuse another person with the ability that God has given them. So all things are not accomplished by God or even for God, but are only accomplished because God does give life and give abilities. And that's an important distinction to make, because many people don't, and then thus they draw all kinds of false conclusions, like God wanted me to be molested because God gave this man the ability to molest me, so it must have been God's will for me to be molested. You see how corrupt and corrosive and false that idea is? Consider giving your child the gift of a new car. And they are of age. They have a driver's license. So it's proper and reasonable to give the gift. They only have the car because of you. They could never afford it on their own. You've gifted it to them. And then they use their car to smuggle drugs across the border. Are they accomplishing this because of you? You see the point? Okay? God gifts us, but it's how we use the gifts is on us, not on the Lord.